Hey Booktube, it's Fee, and today we're talking about The Widow Queen. I love this book so much. It's about a princess who gets married off in order to be part of an alliance to make her father more powerful, but she ends up being this political mastermind in her own right. She goes by many names in this book, but the main one is Swietoslawa. She is a Polish princess who's kind of a figure that we don't know a lot about. There's a lot of conflicting information about who she is, and if she was a princess, if she's a combination of many different princesses. The history is kind of fuzzy on that. Before I started this book, I didn't know anything about medieval Poland. Let's be real. So a bunch of these characters are people that I'd never heard of. I definitely went down the Wikipedia rabbit hole afterwards, but that's a different story. This book is basically all political intrigue. It's castles, it's war, it's backstabbing, and it's a lot of fun. I became very invested in these characters because they were very well balanced. A lot of times you have characters that are too ruthless, and that's really all they are, or they are just, something else. But these characters were multidimensional, and they had to balance their power games with their needs and wants and desires as people. And I think that that's really, really hard to write, but the author did a really good job of making that shine through the text. All the motivations made sense, and there were some surprises that sort of kept me on my toes, but nothing felt like it was out of left field or just made up for the sake of making more drama. This book was translated from Polish to English, and there are some parts where I really wish that I knew Polish so I could go back and reread the original book. That way I could have gotten a better idea of the author's style. I think that the translation did a really good job. It still felt like a book. I was invested, I understood the tone of everything, and I was really, really immersed in it. But there were some parts, especially around the more mystical parts, that sort of take this book into low fantasy instead of it just being strictly historical fantasy, where I really think that I would have appreciated how the author wrote it originally, because it seemed a little bit too straightforward translation-y when I read it. I don't really know how to describe this, so if you have a better way to describe it, leave me a comment down below. So this is the first book in a series, and I don't know if it's going to be a duology or if it's going to be a trilogy or something longer, but the next book is called The Last Crown, and I am really, really excited for that book, and I didn't even know that it existed until literally when I finished this book. This is one of those books that just made me feel happy on the inside, and I don't really know how to describe it. I love this book. I really enjoyed it. And I hope that if you're into historical fantasy and princesses being political badasses, that you pick it up too. If you like what I do, please hit the subscribe button and join the Cap Nation. We'd love to have you. I post bookish videos pretty much every week. I read a lot of fantasy. I read some historical fiction and some stuff that sort of blends the two together. I also love urban fantasy and a bunch of other genres, and I'm going to stop rambling right now. Like, share, subscribe on all your social media, and if you think that I suck at this, I probably do. Leave me a comment down below, and I will try to suck better next time. Bye!